Hey lovelies, it's your girl Swan Angel here bringing to you a brand new video. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Thanks so much for giving my video a try. I hope you stick around and click that subscribe button, click that like button and hit that little bell so you'll always be notified when a new video comes out. Hey, so I recently got these Prima watercolors and these are the classics. I was in an indecision of which one to choose, so I just went with the classics and I could build excuse me, and I could build on those. These watercolors were super impressive. It was so easy to get pigment onto the brush. It's like as soon as you put the brush is a little wet, you just put it in the paints and it just soaks it up. And these paints are super pigmented. I am warning you, this is a huge warning. These paints give out a lot of pigment, so a little literally goes a long way with these paints. Okay, so when I was using the paints, I had was to water them down a lot in order to build colors, instead of what I usually used to do back in the day was just like try to get the darkest tone as soon as possible, and that used to make my paintings look muddy. Don't do what I used to do. So in order to test these paints, I didn't want to do a landscape because most of the things I see people doing with the paints are landscapes or typography. I know I say that wrong, but for the life of me, I cannot say the correct way. And I wanted to try to use the brown straight off the pan. And as I was saying before I get distracted by me taking out the paint, is that I wanted to try it on a person illustration. I know people use it on people, but on the reviews or the posts I've seen with Prima Watercolors, I haven't really seen people draw people, so let me draw somebody. And what else to draw but a demon girl, because I love drawing girls with horns. And I wanted to try the brown straight out of the pan because when I swatched it, I really liked the color. I was like, okay, alright. It's a kind of reddish undertone that I kind of like for this character. And I was winging it mostly. I just know that's what I wanted to do with her skin, but everything else was out the door. She was a demon and she plays with fire. So these watercolors are like so good. I've had my eyes on these watercolors for a while. I've watched so much reviews, I've watched so much people paint with them, and I'll be like, I don't need these, I have my watercolors. But apparently I am a watercolor collector, because right now I just want to buy a whole bunch of watercolors and try them out, which is good for you guys since you get to see me review them all. Hey, so these are, I don't know if to recommend them for like beginners because it's super pigmented, but yeah, I will recommend it for beginners because maybe the super pigmentation could help. I don't know how, but that's super. Seriously, you just dip your brush in water, you dip it in the paint. I know I'm repeating myself a lot, but I cannot stress how pigmented these paints are. Usually with my other paint sets, I have to go over it a few times and put it in the water in order to get a good bit of pigment, but this is just off the bat. You have to have like a huge well of water to just to get transparency. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but back to the painting. So now I'm using the purple, a mixture of the purple and the blue, the dark blue, in order to make shadows because I love using purple for shadows. And yeah, I'm really liking this. Can you tell that I really like these paints? So let's talk about pros and cons. So pros of this, they're super pigmented, as I said multiple times. I love the colors, it's super vibrant and I just love it, and it has this kind of grainy texture to the paint, and all other watercolors I've ever used have been smooth, but I kind of like the graininess because it gives you something when you're rubbing on the paint. That sounds so weird, but anyway, when you're rubbing a brush on the paint, it gives you something to grasp on. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like it makes you feel how the brush is rubbing on the paint, and I like it. I've heard others complain about it, but I like the graininess of the paint, especially since it's super pigmented. And I really like this green, and I didn't think I could have mixed this green with these paints, and I was really surprised that I could, and I ran out. And I had to mix it again, and I got as close to the shade as I wanted because I was winging it with the color, and I was able to get it back. And I just love how all these colors like blend into each other, because you saw me putting the purple on the skin, and even though you can kind of see the shade of the purple, it's blended in very well with the brown that I used before. And when I was doing this kind of gradient thing with the fire, with the red into the orange and the orange into the yellow, these things were blended in together so nicely. I was like, yeah, there was no trouble mixing colors together on the palette or on the paper. And these paints, that's another pro, that these paints are so helpful to one another. They make each other pop. Maybe I should try them with two colors people don't usually use together and see how they'll blend. But I didn't think about that because I was more focused on painting this character, who I don't have a name for. I don't have names for any of my girls except Moonlight and Swan, my avatar. But if you guys have a name for her, leave it in the comments down below. I really like to hear about it. Okay, that's back to it. So I really wish I kept the jacket orange yellow, but I changed her hair because her hair was originally supposed to be pink, but how I got the green, it didn't really fit in, and I was going to put it all red, but then I was like, oh, let's do an ombre, since I liked how the fire came from the red to the yellow, so I wanted to try it with the hair, and it was clashing with the jacket, so I had to change it. And it was super easy. I just took the brown and I mixed it with some blue, I believe, to make it darker, and boop, I got a nice brown. And I added some yellow. I was kind of yellow, but that's later on. But these colors, you could even lay on top of them, which is a huge plus. I like it. And you put a yellow and you put a blue on top, and you'll have a kind of greenish undertone with the blue, and I like that. The cons, even though I keep saying it's super pigmented, that could also be a con. Like, you put the brush in the paint and then you try to do it. You need a lot of water to dilute it, and you can't just go straight from the pan to your painting unless you're painting a huge area and you have a lot of water on the side to blend that thing out. Otherwise you get super pigmented stuff right off the bat. So that could also be a con, because one thing people love about watercolors is the transparency. That's one thing I like about it, but that could also be a con. Another con is when the tin came, all the paints were just shaking all over the place. Every time I opened it, it was all over the place and mixing up. And when I first opened it, it wasn't a problem because they were individually wrapped, which is also a different problem. Let's talk about that later. But as soon as I used them and I opened them again, they were like mixing into each other as they shaked. And it's because the brackets they are in, it's super loose, so you put it there and it's just shaking all over the place. And it's only after I finished this painting and used these paints for a while that I found a video on Instagram with someone, I can't remember because it was in passing, I don't follow her, and it was in passing, and I just saw it and I was like, oh my gosh. So if you're thinking about buying these paints, first thing to do after you unwrap all the things, when you take out all the paints, you bend the little brackets in a bit. And I don't know if I've explained it good, but the brackets that are holding the paint pads, yeah, just take your fingers and press press. I'm doing it in my hand, and I know you can't see it, but just press it in a little, and when you snap the pans back in, it will stay. And literally right now these paints don't move. They don't move. I wish I knew that in the beginning, but now I know, and now I'm telling you. So that's well, that con is over. So it's not a problem since I told you how to fix it. Huh. And another con is seriously all the wrappings. I don't know if they wrap all their pans individually, like just as soon as they put the paints in the pan, they just wrap it one time. Because in the pan, each one was wrapped with paper, and over the paper was plastic. I don't know why it took me so long to say that. Over the paper was plastic. That was a lot of waste. I'm sorry, I'm not fully like save the planet conscious and reduce plastic, but I'm trying my best. And it was really unnecessary wrapping, unnecessary packaging, and I find if you put it in the tin, you don't have to go through that much. Seriously, maybe the paper. I'll take the paper. That could be great. But the plastic, it was like overkill. But overall, that's all the cons I have. I love the color. I love the graininess of it. I love the super pigmented. Oh my gosh, I don't know why I have to keep saying it this way. Oh, I love these paints. I highly recommend it for beginners and professionals. Hey, and I really hope you enjoy this video. I know I did. She came out way better than I thought she would have. Hey, and please don't forget to name her in the comments, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.